Hollywood has insulted us, taken away our superheroes and turned them into spokesmen for homosexuality, and they've taken away Disney and tried to queer our kids through cartoons. And they've done all those things because they've turned themselves into bad people. I want to talk about the Oscars because I know conservatives don't want to talk about the Oscars. I wrote a piece on the Daily Wire, and I got the usual comments that I've been getting for over 20 years when I talk to conservatives about movies and things. I don't care. I never watch the movies. I can stay home and watch Turner Classic Movies, and I don't watch those either because I never let my pure philosophy be stained by art, right? And I wrote this piece saying this was a Screw You America Oscars, and these are films that no one watched about issues no one cares about. Because they've abandoned art, which is a representation of life to get you at that experiential level, not at a philosophical level. They've abandoned it for political propaganda. And that's why propaganda doesn't work, because propaganda stands still. Art is in motion like life. They're not making movies. They're taking snapshots. So you get a picture about a transgender musical. Like, who are you serving? What's the audience for that? Who cares? You make a 3.5 hour about brutalist architecture. Who are you serving? You're here to entertain. The winner was Honora. You could say it's about the fact that a sex worker, a prostitute, really secretly desires a man who will cherish and protect her in marriage. That's kind of the point of the movie. But because the movie could not make that statement without first normalizing sex without humanity, the sex without humanity became more about justifying that and normalizing that than the actual ending of the movie, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it's just the way the picture was put together. And that's why you got Mikey Madison. These are the most talented people in the country. You will not replace these people with conservatives. You can only replace them with other artists who maybe believe in conservatism. That's different. That's a different thing. So she got up, and this was her Oscar speech. She won the Oscar Cut 7.
I also just want to again recognize and honor the sex worker community. I will continue to support and be an ally. All of the incredible people, the women that I've had the privilege of meeting from that community has been one of the highlights of this entire incredible experience.
So I've met sex workers too, mostly in research, although, my early life notwithstanding, but, mostly researching that. And they're not, they may be wonderful people and they certainly bear the image of God, but they are really, really, really messed up people. That's why they're abusing themselves. But look, she's a dopey little actress. She's 25, which in actress years is 15. They're like dogs, but in reverse, right? They age very, very slowly. And she was right that was really the message of the picture, that maybe this is painful, that maybe this women want something more than this, but it's fine. It's fine. This is, you can get there from here. And that philosophy of dehumanizing sex is part of this materialist Marxist scientific view of history that's got to get these annoying homes and mothers out of the way in order to bring itself into reality. Even Wicked, The Wizard of Oz is a great movie about a girl growing up. Right? It's about a girl who has to choose between her good witch and her bad witch and ultimately become a woman who can confer upon men the gifts that women give to men, which are the gifts of intelligence and heart and courage. And if you think that's sexist, too bad. That's what the movie is about, because that's kind of what life is about. That's how life works. We live for one another. Who do you serve? Who do you serve in the movie? But Wicked turns that around and says, no, it's not about that. It's about racial prejudice. That's what the movie's about, right? I'm sure you've seen it, and that's obviously what it's about, because that's their philosophy. Everything has to be about racial prejudice. But art, when it works, when it's alive, when it's real, does something absolutely glorious, which shows us people, maybe prostitutes. Dostoevsky wrote about prostitutes. There are good movies about prostitutes. Maybe people who have gender dysphoria. There's a wonderful movie about a transvestite, not a transsexual person, Ed Wood by Tim Burton. That's an excellent movie because it's alive. It's about real life. It's not about justifying his life. He looks really stupid in the movie when he dresses up in women's clothes. It's embarrassing even to watch it, but you see him as a real person. And when you see other people as real people, you get a God's eye view of them.
I like to dress in women's clothing.
You a fruit?
No, not at all. I love women. Wearing their clothes makes me feel closer to them.
You're not a fruit.
No, I'm all man. I even fought in WW2. course, I was wearing women's undergarments under my uniform.
Because all of us are lost and all of us are sinful and none of us, not one of us is righteous. And so we have no right to judge one another. And that's what art puts you in, that space, that godlike space where you can see people. But if it's only used for one group of people and not for others, that is where things go wrong. So, Hamilton, the musical, which is a good musical, good solid musical. I hate rap music and I liked it. I thought it was really good. They canceled their plan to perform it in D.C. at the Kennedy Center because Trump has thrown out the board of the Kennedy Center. And for now, at least, he's appointed himself head of the board. I don't know what that means. But the producer of the film, the lead producer named Steven Seller, said it became untenable for us to participate in an organization that had become so deeply politicized. The Kennedy Center is for all of us. And it pains me deeply that they took it over and changed that. They said it's not for all of us. It's just for Donald Trump and his crowd. So we made a decision. We can't do it. Now, that's an amazing statement because let me ask Mr. Seller this. When has the Kennedy Center or any major Broadway theater or the movies in the last 20 years made a movie representing or put on a show representing the 50% of people in this country that voted for Donald Trump? Many of you I know like to sleep when you go to bed at night, and I just consider that weak. I lie awake all night, and that's why I love my Helix mattress. You're missing it because if you're on a Helix mattress, you are going to fall asleep. You're going to be so comfortable you fall asleep, but you're going to miss how comfortable it is. I lay awake all night, and I can feel the comfort. And one thing I love about my Helix mattress is how well it does with temperature regulation, which really eases some of those annoying middle-of-the-night wake-ups. Plus, it's easy to connect to other wearable devices so you can actually see the data to back up your sleep improvements. What makes Helix different is they don't just sell you a random mattress. They match you with the perfect one for your body and sleep style, or in my case, my staying awake style. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or somewhere in between, they've got you covered. And trust me, when you find the right match, you'll wonder how you ever slept on anything else. Right now is actually the perfect time to upgrade your sleep because Helix is having a March Madness sale. Go to helixsleep.com/Klavan to get 20% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/Klavan for 20% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/Klavan. How do you spell Klavan?
K-L-A-V-A-N, there are no E's in Klavan.
It's really 75% who believe a lot of the common sense things Trump is saying. People who don't think transgenderism is a good thing, or maybe they're Christians who, even being loving, think that homosexuality is a sin per se, or maybe they think atheism is the wrong thing. When has a Trump person been able to go to a show on Broadway and feel he wasn't being told that he was a bad person? When has that ever happened? It wasn't for all of us. It was for you. It was for your small-minded philosophy. Because the thing is, I don't want the movies to be conservative. I don't want them to be leftist. I want people of all stripes to be able to make movies and to put on theater. And that's not true now. And if Trump makes it even closer to being true, it will mean that there will be shows that you go to that you're offended by, like we're offended by every single show you put on. Marxism has transformed these people into small-minded ideologues instead of actual artists. There was this wonderful moment where Kieran Culkin, he was in A Real Pain, which is a good little movie. It's a small movie. I'm not going to tell you it's a great epic, but it does everything right. It gets everything right. And I recommend it. You will like it. It's short. It's not 3.5 hours where a 90-minute movie packed into 3.5 hours. And Kieran Culkin delivers a fantastic performance in it, just a really amazing performance.
I got to pee.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll get that.
And he gets up and he gives this speech where he starts talking to his wife, Jazz, in the audience. This is cut 8.
About a year ago, I was on a stage like this, and I very stupidly publicly said that I want a third kid from her because she said if I won the award, she would give me the kid. It turns out she said that because she didn't think I was gonna win. And people came up to her and were like, really annoying her. I think it got to her. But anyway, after the show, we're walking through a parking lot. She's holding the Emmy. We're trying to find our car. Emily, you were there, so you're a witness. And she goes, "Oh, God, I did say that. I guess I owe you a third kid." And I turned to her and I said, "Really, I want 4. And she turned to me. I swear to God this happened. It was just over a year ago. She said, "I will give you 4 when you win an Oscar."
Now, people were charmed by that because there are 2 things in the world that represent flow, that represent creation, and that is babies and art. There's a great song by Stephen Sondheim, Children and Art. And children and art are, in fact, the expression of the creator in the creation. That's what they are, and it's a wonderful thing. See, some conservatives are happy to see the movies die. They hate Hollywood. Hollywood has insulted us. All true, by the way. Hollywood has punched us, taken away our superheroes and turned them into spokesmen for, homosexuality, and they've taken away Disney and tried to queer our kids through cartoons. And they've done all those things because they've turned themselves into bad people. They've become bad people following their philosophy, stuck in the box of their philosophy, and they've become bad artists too. Their movies suck. Who goes to the movies? I very rarely go, and I always am looking to see a good movie. Now, they'll be replaced. Movies will be replaced. There'll be new technologies. Now will be able to make movies single-handedly almost with AI, and all this stuff is going to happen. But the movies were great. The movies were great. They owned the 20th century. They once spoke the American experience into the world and made the world better by doing that. For more great content, like and subscribe, and do not forget to subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcasts.